come and see me read my first book reading, and I'm freaking out. Come on, 15 minutes over there. I will entertain you. Oh, you came to my book reading, right? In 15 minutes. Yeah? 15 minutes. You better show up. It's right over there. They told me I have an hour and however long. If I don't bore you guys to tears, I mean, like you have nothing better to do with your evening. What are you doing here anyway? Hello.
Hi.
I'm torturing your readers. Is that okay? Is
No,
that allowed?
please. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Recruit.
If I start being too loud or obnoxious, you can just, you know, smack me on the hand.
You're obviously having fun. I mean, I think anyone sees someone in a pink tutu coming, they know what they're in for.
I know. Well, I could like literally go out there and corral everybody in here, but I'm thinking that I'm probably not allowed to do that.
Yeah, stick with the bookstore. They're eating.
So I'm keeping it right here.
Yeah,
That's no
great.
problem doing that.
Recruit.
I know.
That's cool.
I know. Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. Sell books. You came from my book reading, right? Yes? I can see it in your eyes. You came from my book reading in 15 minutes.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Thanks for inviting me.
My book reading. These two poor souls are coming.
Three. It's a great book.
Did you hear that? I did not mean him to say that. You see how you work the crowd? Hi, you're new. Hello. Oh, you get hi because I get hugged so much. Hello. Come here. Yes? Yeah. Awesome. Oh, you people, look at this. You did show up. You did show up. You have nothing better to do with your evening. Listen to my nonsense. What is wrong with you guys? There they are. Right there. Right here. Thank you for coming. I have a personal assistant. You see how terribly important I am.
Great. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming. My name's Kalani, and on behalf of Third Place Books, I want to thank you all so much for coming out here. We really appreciate it. Your interest, presence, and purchasing of books makes us continue to do these author programming events. So, appreciate you coming out. At this time, I want to remind you all to please silence any cell phones that you may have. It's a big deal. Silencing your phone, please. All right, so tonight we welcome local author Ksenia Anska. Ksenia came to the U.S. in 1998 from Russia, not knowing any English. In 2012, she quit her day job as a social media marketer to pursue a writing career full-time. Since then, she has written a fantasy trilogy called The Siren Suicides. The novel Rosehead, from which we'll be reading from tonight, and she's already working on her next novel. Having done all that in such a short time, makes me very excited about how much more she'll be able to accomplish in her writing career. So please help me in welcoming Ksenia Anska.
Yeah, sit down. Hello. So I don't know what to talk about because it's my first time, and I'm very nervous. But thank you everyone for coming. This is, well, this is a humbling experience because as a little girl, I really wanted to be a ballerina. And it took for me to become a writer to buy a real ballet outfit. This is real. These stockings, they have holes in them. Like, these are real ballet stockings. This is real tutu. How crazy is that? So because I was very nervous, I talked to a bunch of people who did public talking, and they gave me a couple secrets. So one secret a comedian told me: when you're really afraid of your audience, you imagine them naked. So right now, this is what I'm gonna do. Okay, no, I don't want to do it anymore. So the character in my book, if you don't know about her, her name is Lilith, and she investigates a rose garden that eats people with a talking dog. And she really loves ballet. Obviously, I wrote it because I like ballet. So I'll do a little dance for you. And then you can tell your grandchildren, when you're really old, that you saw a writer do a silly ballet dance. How's that? Good. You can all clap now. You can laugh, it's okay. Woo! Yeah, Mom! Hey, I don't care. I'm a ballerina, That's like a ballerina rock star. I've been dreaming about this moment for my whole life. I got to make a fool of myself finally. In front of all of you. So, as to the book. This is not my first. My first was a trilogy, and I really didn't know what I was doing. I started writing for therapy, and I tried to write it. You know how you try really hard to write it. And I was really tired of doing it because I was afraid to write. I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? There's all these writers, and I'm just this stupid girl. I mean, it's not my first language. So this one I wrote for fun, and I thought, I'll just write this one for fun, and then I'll move on to serious literature. Now, what's funny is that this one is selling, and the other one is not. Lesson to all of you, write for fun. Make a fool of yourself. Wear a tutu. Well, on a more somber note, it really, becoming a writer really gave me an opportunity to do what I really always wanted to do. And, you know, you just kind of don't allow this yourself. You're like, well, I'm supposed to be an adult, and I'm supposed to be very serious, and I can't really do this. People will think I'm crazy, or they will think that they cannot respect me or cannot trust me with business. So when I quit my career, now I behave like a 5-year-old and everybody respects me. And they think I'm smart when I say stupid things. How cool is that? You all should like run off and quit your jobs and become writers. Awesome! Yeah, it's really bad that children are here because I'm giving them wrong ideas. Children, do not listen to me. Go study in college and get, you know, serious, boring jobs. Become accountants, lawyers, make money. Then you'll have a crisis when you're 30 and then you can quit it. I can still hear you. See, I'm so glad I brought my son with me here. He's like the sidekick. So I guess let me read the beginning. I've kind of acted out. Oh, one more thing I have to tell you. This is an effort of a community. I'm an indie writer. So it's a big deal that I'm actually in a bookstore because traditionally bookstores love to, you know, host traditionally published authors. And the whole indie movement kind of changed that landscape. And actually, Third Place Books is amazing. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to do my silliness and my ballet and harassing people into coming and sitting here and listening to me. You're awesome. So I'm very excited, and I'm hoping I'm not sweating like a pig, am I? It's very embarrassing for a girl, because then you go, oh my God, yeah, you don't want to look there. So it's kind of like a validation that you go to a real bookstore and you're like, wow, there's books by other people, and there's me, and with my silly book, and there she comes! You're late! Now I just embarrassed the reader. It's okay, I love you anyway. I hope you still love me too, after embarrassing you. So, the big deal about this is when you write as an indie writer, it's a community effort in the sense that when I started out, I didn't really know how to do it. And so I just talked about my process, as you know, maybe sometimes too openly. You know, posting pictures and, well, there's children here, so I'm not going to say it. Yeah, you saw. But I met my editor on Twitter, and she edited my first book for free just because she picked me out of those people that she does pro bono work. And today, something very important happened because I have my editor who edits my books, which is amazing, and she's amazing. But I also have a formatter. This is a very important person who actually makes it look like it's a book. You know, like there's no big spaces here, and the margins are actually correct. And there's it looks like a real printed book you would pick up at a bookstore. And that's Stuart, and we met for the first time tonight. Stand up. So, without you, this would not have been possible. And we just met today. Can you believe it? That's crazy, right? So, back to Lilith. So, Lilith is a peculiar child with really quirky things because her parents think that she's sick and they feed her medication. She doesn't agree with that, but she's kind of OCD in a way that she really likes certain things to be a certain way. She's obsessed with berets. Am I saying it right? Berets? Berets? So, there is one of every color for every activity. Ta-da! I bought them. I bought this whole outfit, you guys, just for this tonight. You know, when I put it in the shopping cart, I thought, this is crazy. I looked at the price because I bought old Capezio, you know, the Capezio brand. It's the real ballet thing. And I'm like, no, I'll go buy a cheap, like, pink paint. He's like, no, I have to have Capezio. I have to have the real stuff. This is real, guys. This is real. Look, it is. And then I thought, I won't say the bad words. I usually say on Twitter. I was like, I'll buy it. So this is all real, just for you. You see what I'm doing for you. So when I was dancing, I was supposed to be looking like this, but I got so excited that I forgot. But Lilith wears a pink beret when she dances. Now, when she's reading, she wears a blue beret. So, because I'm going to read to you right now. Oh, I thought it had an end, but it doesn't. Of course, it's a circle. So I'm going to read to you right now. Hi, you're missing out on the fun. Come here. There's a writer in a tutu who is reading. He did not appreciate my comment. So this is the very beginning of the book. Rosehead, Chapter 1, The Grim Arrival. Lilith Bloom had a peculiar feeling that the rose garden wanted to eat her. She surveyed it through the open car window, unable to look away. The garden seemed to survey her back. It was enormous. Its red blanket surrounded a solitary mansion at the end of Rose Street. Rosenstrasse in German. Forgive my German. It used to be good. No other houses stood in sight, only a distant forest. Apart from tires grating on the gravel, it was eerily quiet, too quiet for a hot summer afternoon. Dun, 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 dun. Are you guys scared yet? The rental sedan pulled into the motor court in front of the mansion, joining a long line of cars. A sudden gust of wind washed over Lilith's face. She expected it to smell like roses. Instead, it reeked of rotten sweetness, of something decomposing. Lilith rolled up her window. Panther? She whispered. No answer. Panther Bloom Jr., will you kindly wake up? She shook the black shape. Do you see what I did? I even bought a dog for this. Curled to her left, the shape yawned, revealing a long tongue and rows of pearly teeth, then promptly sat up and blinked. It wasn't exactly a dog, not in the most typical sense of how one would describe it. It was a cat in a dog's body. In proper canine terms, it was a whippet, Lilith's pet and only friend. He possessed a unique gift. Are you ready for this? He talked. As Lilith ascertained her parents, of course, they refused to believe her. Lilith's father, Daniel Bloom, an avid whippet breeder and dog race enthusiast, deemed Panther as the runt of the litter. Too soft-hearted to part with the puppy, he gave it to Lilith last summer for her 12th birthday. Since then, they'd become inseparable, disappearing in long walks in Boston neighborhoods and arriving this fine sunny day in Berlin after Lilith point-blank refused to go anywhere without Panther, especially not to the Bloom family reunion at her grandfather's house. "You'd think a herd of elephants died here," she whispered. Panther raised a brow. No matter how much Lilith pleaded with him not to talk in front of her parents, he viciously disapproved of the idea, lest they parade him in some freak show like an otherworldly miracle. Oh my God, I'm sweating like a pig. Come, come, come. "Don't look at me like that. I hate it when you don't answer," Lilith said loudly enough for her parents to hear. They exchanged a painful glance. "Here we are, my puppies. Looks like we made the cut," said Daniel Bloom cheerfully, attempting to diffuse the mood. When nervous, he spoke in dog show lingo. "Lilith, did you take your pills?" said Gabby Bloom as she twisted in the passenger seat and gazed at her daughter through metal-rimmed glasses. Her fingers momentarily paused from knitting. Panther studied Lilith. Lilith studied the front seat. "I thought we agreed that pills are for sick people, Mother. I must assure you that, currently, I don't feel sick in the slightest." Don't take that tone with me, Missy. Look at me when I talk to you. I asked you a question. Did you or didn't you?" Panther continued to study Lilith. Lilith continued to study the seat. Gabby's lower lip trembled. She looked like the lost squirrel perched on top of a roof, not knowing how she got there or how to get down. Her brown hair could pass for fur standing on end. "Lilith, don't be puppish. Answer your mother," Daniel muttered while patting his pockets to look busy. An awkward silence filled the car. "I flushed them down the toilet on the plane by accident. They're excruciatingly slippery," Lilith said with an innocent expression on her face. She liked using sophisticated words like excruciatingly to purposefully annoy her mother. "You what? Daniel, are you listening? Did you hear what she said?" Gabby faced her husband. He squinted at something out the window. "I'm sure she didn't mean for it to happen, love. We just crossed the Atlantic, effectively gaining 6 extra hours. She can skip a day, can't she? For time adjustment purposes." "That's $10 down the drain. Have you forgotten what happened last time?" Gabby's hands performed an intricate dance of opening her bag, taking out rolls of wool, one half-knit sweater, another half-knit sweater, a handful of needles, and an orange vial of pills. Wow. It's hard work reading, you know. Lilith and Panther exchanged a glance. Gabby stuffed the vial into her daughter's hands and watched her reluctantly open it and take out 2 blue capsules. "Now," she said. Lilith stuck the pills under her tongue, miming a fake swallow. Meanwhile, escaping his wife's mounting fury, Daniel stepped out of the car and busied himself with the luggage. Tall and scrawny, he looked like a whippet himself, missing, perhaps, only the tail. Eager to spit out bitter tablets, Lilith made to follow. "Wait a second, Missy. Show me your tongue." Gabby leaned in for closer inspection. Lilith opened her mouth and, without dislodging the pills, said with a practiced smile, "Sorry, Mom." "Don't do this again." "I won't. And don't stand there like you're pretending, like you're not listening to me. You can come over here and you can listen like everybody else, because I don't bite, and you will never see Ryder in a tutu again. I can see you behind that wall." He disappeared, people. He's magical. "Good, out you go. We're late as it is." Gabby hurried out of the car, her motherly duty done. Lilith and Panther exchanged another glance and clambered out, looking around. They were at the end of a perfectly round courtyard crammed with cars and of all types, their inexpensive rental the very last. Lilith stood with a triumphant smile on her face. Slender and petite, she dressed meticulously. Yeah, can you tell? Taking forever to pick out clothes calmed her wearing mind, although it caused Panther to lose his. Today she sported a navy skirt, a striped tailor shirt, red Mary Janes, and a matching beret knitted by her mother. Lilith had a collection of these. A rosy one for ballet lessons, a black one for walking Panther, a blue one for reading, and a red one for special occasions. Festive outings rarely happened in her life, but whenever they did, she always wore red, for confidence. Now comes the most important part. I was preparing for this with so much care. I spent so much money just for you guys. Listen to this. Lilith peered into her handbag. making sure she hadn't forgotten anything. She confirmed her dog-shaped wallet with a few dollars in it. I'm sorry, I don't have a dog-shaped wallet, but it's a wallet anyway. A pack of tissues, a lead heart, a tutu, ballet tights, slippers, 3 berets, a journal, a pen and a book. Okay, I missed the journal. I have the pen there. And a book. Always a book. Presently it was Arthur Conan Doyle's The Hound of the Baskervilles, a corner bent on page 13. You people, this is the first edition that I bought especially for this. The first printed in US. Now all clap. I think that's enough because I've tortured you. I can see people start pulling out phones and checking. Like as soon as the author sees that, it's like, oh my God, I bored them with my book to death. So now, because this is a very festive occasion, and I should have brought a towel because I am sweating like a pig. This is just embarrassing. I'm going to put on the red beret, and you are allowed to ask me questions. You can all clap now again. So, who goes first? I don't bite. Oh, look at this, I'm the first victim. Oh, yeah, that's right. So I wrote the next novel, Irkadura, which actually my really great friend and mentor, Michael Gruber, who's a thriller writer, he's not here. He actually emailed me, and he said that he's old, and his eyes are old, and everything is old, and I said, whatever, I still love you, but he couldn't come. So when we met, and I told him my life story, which is I'm from Russia, from Soviet Union, you know, I grew up in all these terrible times, he just told me, oh my God, you should write it into a book. Well, I was stupid enough to get really excited about it. Because I got home, I was pedaling on a bike, and I got the opening line and everything, and then I sat down to write it. Hi, you can come here too. You don't just look. It's very interesting. I'm very entertaining. It was about me being 16. I actually ran away from home when I was 17. Then I got pregnant, became a mom at 18, and it was very terrible, terrible times I didn't want it to remember. I started writing it, and I was like, oh my God, because for 6 months I had to go back into this, you know, Soviet dreariness, and Royce knows. There's my driver over there. He's also my punching pillow. And what else are you? A cook sometimes? He's also very patient. I don't know. I mean, you don't want to live with a writer. It's terrible. So right now it's in the hands of my editor, Colleen Albert, who's starting. She started this week. So it's going to be probably 3-4 weeks, and then it's going to go to Stuart. No pressure, Stuart. You'll have to format it fast. Look, she's asking for it. So this is my next, and then I'm in between books right now. I'm actually doing a ghostwriting project. I'm getting paid for my writing. Woo! All cheer. That was really loud. I am actually getting paid for my writing. Can you believe that? And it's gonna end in about. Did I embarrass you? You can laugh at a writer. I mean, this is what I'm here for. I'm here to entertain you. You can do this too. There's nothing to see there. It's very flat from sitting every day, and writers' asses are really sorry ones. Ooh, I see you guys like naughty words. I should use naughty words more often. I've been trying to hold back. This is a respectable place, a bookstore. You just don't just say ass lightly here. So I'm starting on my next novel, Corners, in about 2-3 weeks, and that's going to be about 4 kids riding on bikes and then accidentally finding a corner, you know, like any corner, and if it has a number on it, and you can peel it like a page of a book, and then you fall into the book, and then they have to get out, so they jump in and out of 30 books. Hi, you better go over here because you can hear me better here, and I can see you're a fan. I'm very terribly famous. You may kiss my hand. You don't want to kiss my hand, you can kiss my foot. You know how they all like innocent writers are like, oh my god, it's your first book. It's like, oh my god, it's your first baby. Oh. Then by the time it's the third, oh, you have a baby. Okay, you're right. You can chill now. Oh, it's your fourth book? Oh, okay. Whatever.
Hey, Ksenia, you said this is the first book that you just truly enjoyed writing and you weren't trying to be the writer like you were with the first three. Tell me about that transition.
So when you start out writing, and I'm sure all of you after tonight will go home, you will think about your lives, you will understand how terrible they are, how dull and how boring, and how your entire lives you wanted to quit your jobs and become writers. So this is very important advice. And now I forgot where I was going to. Never mind. Fear. Okay, so when you start out writing, you're so afraid, and especially, you know, I mean, look at this bookstore. You're like, oh my god, look at all these smart people writing books. Who am I? How can I even think to write something? You know, there's already so much stuff out there. See, you're smiling. I knew you would enjoy it. You can come closer. You can sit right here. Sit right here, both of you. I'm talking to both of you. No, no, there's nobody behind you. No, that does not work here. No. I don't understand this hand language. Sit down here and I'll take your cash. So I was very afraid to write, and I tried to emulate other writers, and I tried to read, and I read books about how to write instead of actually reading novels. And so it was painful in the sense that I hated what I wrote. You know, I would write it, and then I'd think, this is just terrible, it's awful. It's not my first language, my grammar sucks, my vocabulary sucks, everything sucks, and I'm just going to go hang myself. So, yeah, basically that was my first trilogy, and I overwrote it. I did 5 drafts, which is too much, because first you have this feeling for a spontaneous story, and you have to catch it, and that's what I'm learning now. For those of you who follow me on my blog or Twitter, you saw that I did these 2 short stories. So it's actually an exercise in just capturing and not being afraid to just grab a picture, and when you start out, you're afraid and you're unable to do it. So you have this really great impulse, but the problem is that what comes out is not what you wanted, and you look at it and you hate it. And there's a reason for you to hate it, because it's not what you thought it was going to be. But you don't understand it until you write many more books, and then you start seeing it, and then you get it. So it's kind of like you really have to write a few to see it yourself. I can tell you I can go hoarse in my throat right now trying to convince you, but until you do it, you know, it's kind of like telling a teenager, don't jump off that roof. And they'll be like, yeah. Ah, I broke my leg. Well, I told you not to. You know, so it's the same thing. So this is why when I wrote Rosehead, I was so tired that I thought, nothing's going to happen with this. Nobody's going to read it. I'll just write it for fun. And then, oh, wow, people read this one much more than the other one. You know? I hope that answered your question. I probably talked too much. Ah, there goes one more of my victims. Yay! More questions? This is precious time you're spending with somebody who's going to be terribly famous in the future. You better ask me now. Don't just smile. I can see there's a question in your brain. It's hatching. Where I'm from? Russia, from Moscow. I came here in 19-something. I forgot. 16 years ago. Nadia, see, she knows better. See, I don't do math. I'm a writer, okay? I don't know what math is. I don't remember how old I am. Something. 30? Something.
You live local now?
30. I am local now, but I will only talk to you if you sit right here. You can't be so shy. Come on, you have a fabulous beard. Come on over here and show it off to us. Anyone who has a beard like this, tell him, right? He's gorgeous. Gorgeous beard, right there. Come on. I would grow a beard too, but every time I try, it's not working. Something must be wrong with me. But you know, like proper writers, they look really good with beards. It's my goal in life, is to grow a beard. So people respect me. They're like, oh, she's a writer. Oh, a question from my son. Oh my God, go ahead.
When you try to
grow a beard, you go.
You mean I fart?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try really hard and I fart and maybe then I'll grow a beard. Go ahead. Oh, oh she's killing me, right? Because even that question I can't answer because the first novel was really a one novel, but then it became too long, so I had to break it into 3. So it is 3. So this is 4, and the one Hi, you can come over closer. I saw you, you know? I'm talking to you now. And don't just go hide. I'm so good at this. Come on over. No. You're just coming here to see me. It's my first book reading. You can hear me. But the 5th one, see, that's good. I'm making people laugh. This is my job. If I made you laugh, I did my job right. You even awesome. My 5th one is with my editor, your Kador, and then my 6th one I'm gonna start writing in a couple weeks. Oh, good question. So it's about a girl who is from a very violent and abusive family. She runs away. She's 16, and then she realizes she's pregnant, and so she's basically homeless. And it's all happening against the constitutional crisis in Russia in 1993, 1994. Remember when the White House was gunned and all that? So she's basically camping out at other people's different houses, and she descends into this alternate reality that she's trying to survive, to not to go crazy, and it's all populated with wild animals. So it's like Moscow, where Lenin statues come alive and talk to her, and people are like raccoons and boars and catfish and maggots and rats and squirrels and all kinds of stuff. At the end, she has to choose which reality she's going to go with. Not a funny story. But it's got cockroaches. Cockroaches are fun.
Cockroaches!
Yeah, go ahead.
Two questions. One, any hedgehogs?
I almost said the bad word, but I'm keeping it back because I had a hedgehog, but I cut it out. You know why? It was too cute. I tried to do only nasty animals. I mean, a cockroach is a nasty animal. Well, it's an insect, but it's an animal. But it's a cockroach. You know what I mean? And the hedgehog is just adorable.
You can't make that creepy or evil or something.
No, I had it. I can prove it to you. I have my draft, and it says hedgehog in it. I can show it to you. Okay. Hold on. He had question number 2. Wow, you guys are warming up. Awesome. Go ahead. Question 2.
Question number 2, will you wear the tutu all the time?
If you would like that, sure. I'll wear anything. These are awesome people right here, by the way, who brought me to, what was the con name? Spoke. See, I don't even know that. They like dragged me out of my cave. I kicked and I screamed and they said, "You must come." You know, get out. And then they paid for everything. They were just awesome. And then I sold all my books there. I sold out. So now we're going to where? Oricon. That's in Portland. I did it, got it right? Okay, in November. So anyway, they know everything. They're really good at math and business, and I'm horrible. But I apparently make an attraction at the table. So in a tutu, I suppose we'll sell even more books.
And the berets and
Yeah, I have 2 tutus. 2. This one I wore here today because it covers my behind. But I have another one that doesn't cover my behind. And it looks like this. So I can wear that one. And just do this. Woo! And then everybody's going to be at our table buying books. Go ahead.
What do you do when you finish a book? Do you stomp on it?
I do a silly dance. I actually close the door and they don't get to see it, but I blast the music really loud because my chauffeur, my driver, my punching pillow, right over there, he bought me, he's also my sponsor. He takes me out to lunches sometimes, if I behave really well. He even did my laundry once. He washed my undies. Had fun folding them. Did you? No, I forgot the question. What was the question again and who asked it?
What do you actually do when you finish a book?
Oh, okay. I do a dance. I blast the music really loud, and then the teenagers complain. They're like, the floor was shaking. I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I jump. I don't know. It just there's so much joy, and you're like, yes, you're done. You just want to throw it away into the bushes because you suffered so much, and you're like, I'm gonna punch you in the face. See, I just did it. That's for you. More questions.
Yay.
Come on, new people. Oh, well, that was really silly. I mean, I didn't know what I was doing because a proper trilogy has to, every book has to have a beginning, a middle, and an end. And I just cut it into 3. So, actually, it wasn't that hard at all. It was stupid. I just took it and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna cut it here. And people still read it. It actually tells you how much you can fool your readers. I mean, nobody notices. Some people go, it's kind of abrupt. I'm like, it's supposed to be like that. Don't you get the significance of literature? What is wrong with you? You wait, mister. Go ahead.
I guess.
Okay, so my first trilogy took me 5 drafts, and that was too much. But I also heard from people that they do 8 to 9 drafts. You can come closer. You look so lovely in your pink jacket. Come over here. Come over here. Look, I'm pink too. I'm a crazy writer in the tutu. Oh God, I forgot the question. Yeah, right. Drafts. So this one took me only 3 drafts, and Irkadur took me 4. I guess on average it's 4, but the only reason Irkadur took me 4 is because I almost gave up on it. I wrote it. My mentor and the writer who asked me to write it, Michael Gruber, he basically, I think, expected it to be like a thriller, like a historical novel. And so when I wrote the first draft, he was like, wow, that's not it, completely. And I was so devastated that I couldn't deliver what he wanted to, that I almost trashed it. I almost didn't want to do it. So it took me, see, and this is back to your question, about how do you not hate yourself? And I was like, I can't write historical novels. I can't write thrillers. It's not mine. It has to have magic, cockroaches exploding in pink fumes, flying elephants that turn into crocodiles and eat your muffins or whatever crazy stuff like this. And so I had to rewrite it. Literally, second draft, I injected it with magical realism layer, which I would have done in the first draft if it didn't happen. So I would say probably 3 to 4. Yeah, but I don't do, I know Hugh Howey, for example, another awesome writer with whom we keep in touch. Yeah, he does 8 to 9 drafts. And it always blows me away. I'm like, dude, really? But, so for every writer, it's a different experience. Although my draft, each draft, I do twice, quote unquote, because I'll edit a chapter, and then the next morning I'll go over it. Again, I'll scrub through it. Then I do the next chapter. The next morning I'll scrub over. So it's like a stitching. So I kind of go twice through everything. So maybe in that sense I do 6 drafts, but for me it's only 3. Yes, annoying little kid. What is your question?
How much do you love your books?
How much do I love my books? Not very much yet. This is something I have to learn. I still can't say like, wow, this is awesome. I mean, I tell you all of this, so I fool you into buying all these copies, of course. But that's not really what I think inside. Yeah, I made them, but it's hard. Like Alex here asked a question. It's hard to really like your own work very much. And I think the day I really love my work is the day I'll die, or I won't write anymore or somebody please hit me on the head with a brick if I tell you this. It's good to, in a way, somewhat not liking your work. It keeps you striving. I haven't actually met anyone who blatantly said, yeah, I love my book, piss off. The day I'll meet someone like that, oh, you're leaving, I've bored you to tears. That's it. I knew it. We have to wrap this up. More questions? Oh, my daughter. So when I ran away from home and I was 17 and pregnant, and I was 18. I gave birth to my daughter when it was kind of one of those things where everybody wanted me to do an abortion, and I told them, piss off, I'm not going to do an abortion. And now, look at this. She's a graphic design artist, student at Chapman University in her second year, sophomore, and she does covers that are pretty awesome, I think. What do you guys think? I think it's pretty awesome. Alright, this is entertaining. Are you guys entertained? Because the second you're bored, tell me and I will shut up, because I can talk all night. More questions? Wow, you're saving me tonight, my darling. What is it?
It's a question.
That is my son, everyone. Yes? I'm listening.
What?
I'm listening to the question.
I already said it. It's a question.
Okay. I hate you.
I love you too.
Oh. We'll talk later at home.
When you do your drafts, you outline as well.
Okay. This is a really awesome question because when I started out, somebody is really awful. You turn off your phones when an author is speaking. I am appalled. You go in the corner. You stand there and you think about everything you've done wrong. Then maybe later I'll forgive you.
Just bribe her with cookies.
I know. I didn't bring any. Oh, stupid me. Sorry, what was your question again? Outlines. So, when I started out, you don't check your phone when an author is talking. You people, I have to teach you manners. An outline. I did an outline only because I read about writers doing an outline. So I thought I was supposed to do it. Like I told you, everything I read, I just did. You know, people say, do this. I'm like, yes, sure, I'll do it. And I suffered through it because I've outlined Siren Suicides, my first trilogy, so much that at the end I was like, I was afraid to deviate from the plot line. And then eventually I deviated. So when I started writing Rosehead, I just thought, to hell with it. I just wrote it, just sat down and just went, you know. And the interesting part is, I know for some people it works the other way, but for me, I get so excited every morning because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm like, is he going to eat her? Or is she going to eat him today? I don't know. And then I'm like, oh my God, this other thing ate them both. You know, it's just so exciting, so I don't. And with Irkadur I didn't do, and I don't think I'll do it again. So I just write. I just kind of every morning get up and I'm like excited, like I'm reading a book. So I'm kind of writing like reading a book, doesn't make sense? And I have these pictures in my head like a movie. Like I see a movie and it just comes. You know, or it doesn't come and you stare at the computer and you're like, I hate life. I'm blocked. I'm gonna go drink vodka. That happens too. Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yes, I can imagine.
That's good.
Thank you, darling. Go ahead. You smiling so much.
How come you don't come to Writer's Cramp anymore?
Oh, you're one of those. I knew it. You can flog me right now.
No,
You can spank me.
You can't flog people in a tutu.
Oh, you see, guys, this is my thing. I dress up in the tutu. I'm too cute to beat up. This is a good question. I stopped going anywhere because I realized that it distracts me. I'm one of those weirdos that, or actually, after reading an interview with Haruki Murakami, I stopped being afraid of saying it out loud. This is one of those things, again, back to your question. You know, how do you stop being afraid of all these things? Because you think, well, all these other writers are doing this, and I'm, you know, I must be wrong for doing this other thing. I can't do it. So all these other writers going to writers groups, you know, to talk to their colleagues and to run their stuff through them. I can't. I get so into my story that I literally don't leave the house. And I'm really fast. Another reason why I stopped actually was like we did 2 chapters I think in 2 weeks or something. There was this, what was the length? I can't remember. So, and I couldn't keep up with it. I was already past it. And another thing too is, which you can talk to my pillow, punching pillow over there. He knows. I can't even talk. Like he would come and people don't even knock on my door because I'm out of it. So, and until I finish the book, I'm out of it, pretty much. Actually, most of the time I'm out of it, but when I'm writing a book, I'm very much out of it. This doesn't make sense.
It's very entertaining to watch her eat.
Yeah, is that how I look? Yeah, something
Pretty
like
close.
that. Pretty close.
Like a goldfish.
Thank you, darling. You see how you raise these loving children. And, oh my God, you have a question? Go ahead. Oh, you picked up Survivor. That's an awesome book.
Yeah.
Come on, more. Oh, look at this. Oh, at home in my pajamas. I'm sorry, you know, it's such an awesome thing is you don't have to go anywhere, and then you don't bother to dress up, and then you don't bother to brush your hair, and finally you don't bother to brush your teeth. It's just amazing. And then when you show up like this at the door, just in case somebody does show up, your excuses, I'm a writer. People just, oh, I'm sorry. It's an excellent excuse. Yeah, I suggest that, especially if you have annoying friends. You can tell them, I'm writing a book, piss off. It's very important.
Is that good of me?
And you also, this face, it has to be very straight. Serious.
You can't laugh when you're doing it.
More? Are you out of questions? I can't believe that. Oh. So, I'm like doing something crazy on Twitter, I guess. Tweeting a lot of nonsense, pretty much. But for some people, they like it. I don't know what's wrong with them. So they asked me to do a first book of tweets. I actually brought it. Oh. You see how bad my memory is? This is terrible. So this is a book of my tweets. Which actually some people told me, what? People buy a book of tweets? What is wrong with you? I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. Something wrong with my readers, because they told me to make it. And they're like, can we have a book of your tweets? I'm like, are you crazy? They're like, no, we want it. I'm like, all right, you asked for it. You better buy it. And they do. You tell me what is wrong with people. I'll pass it around. You guys can look. It's got silly stuff like, all I do is I write and read and I fart glitter. You know, stuff like that. Oh, and this is my first. This is the Siren Suicides. You know, the one that I broke into 3. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, look at this, I'm making money. Ah! I expect you all to leave all your cash that you have with you tonight with me. I'll take very good care of it. I know that you have no use for it. Not at all. And don't look at me smiling like this. I'll take your cash. I know you'll blow it anyway. What?
Are you gonna make a second rose head?
Oh, this is an interesting thing. Something happened lately. Oh wait, I didn't finish talking about the Blue Sparrow too. So people are asking for the second book of tweets, and I actually found an illustrator who's going to illustrate it for free too, which is amazing. You know, and so it's going to be again a community effort. And I told him, I said, dude, I have no money, so I'm just throwing it out. He's like, I don't care. I love doing art. I'm like, I love you. He's like, I love you too. I'm like, oh great. That's how it happened. Okay, my memory is really awful. Somebody asked a question, I totally flanked it. What'd you say?
Are you gonna make a second?
Oh,
rose
second.
head?
So something funny happened with this, and a lot of writers are very scared to do this. I give all my books away for free, all the ebooks. Although some people came to me, they're like, well, you say you give your books away for free. Why can't you send me this? I'm like, I'm sorry, paper costs money. So I uploaded on Wattpad, which is this other platform for where basically a lot of teenagers read stuff, and I didn't know about it until somebody asked me. A reader, she was like 16. She's like, can you upload it there? So I did, and then they featured it, and now it's got more than 60,000 reads, and it just exploded, and it's not featured anymore, so it's kind of quieted down. But it's got like over 1,000 comments, and it's just been crazy. So people are like, sequel, sequel, sequel. If you read this, you know that the ending is kind of, it's like, dun 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 dun. There could be a sequel. You know, maybe I will write it. Once I get all these other 8 books out of my system, what? What is that supposed to mean?
Please do make
Write
a second
another one.
Please.
You want?
Yeah.
All right, fine. Here, I officially promise I will. I don't know when, so do not budger me.
Next year.
Deal with it. You're so lovely to your mother. You will change my diapers when I'm sent out. You will.
I don't want to see that.
You don't have to look as long as you wash and change. That's all I'm asking for.
How much like waste will there be?
Now we're talking details. It depends on how much kasha I eat. Oh, I think the bookstore is like, okay, get out of here. Now you can all rush over there, grab a book, come over here and say, please sign it, and I'll give you my money for it. Come on, do it, do it, do it.
Stand up, people! Come on!
Thank you everyone for coming.